Hi everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. We are gonna do a short uh, video on the drama from this week. I do not like drama. I try to avoid it. We're just gonna give a short response. The first thing I'll say is a big thank you to everyone who sent messages of support. I got a lot of messages, and I really do appreciate that. You know, it makes this sort of thing, because it was a real shock and not very nice. It makes it a lot easier to deal with, to process when you have that. So I really appreciate people that did that. A lot of the comments as well I saw are saying, you know, to not respond, to just stay clear of it. And that's why part of why certainly I didn't make a video on it until now. I think that's the right idea. I think that is something that both myself and the Saffron Man would agree on at this point. Would be, yeah, you know, making an angry reaction video is not a good idea. And that's why I'm making this video, is because I did appreciate the sort of apology video that he did on it. Now, he sort of explicitly says, I'm not apologizing to Nub in his video. But that being said, I thought that this was a good video to make, and I appreciated what he said in it. Like, he basically said, look, I went about it the wrong way. I was really angry. It was an emotional reaction. And, you know, that's not the sort of person I am, right? And I appreciate that, like, genuinely. Especially because, you know, I was extremely angry as well when this stuff was all kicking off. And I don't know, and like, I don't know, like 1,000 multiverses or something, right? I could easily have seen there be like 5 or 6 where, you know, I absolutely did like be like, you told me to fuck off, fuck you, fuck off. Like, that could have totally happened. And then a few days later, I would have been again being like, shit, I wish I hadn't said that. Like, that was, again, I was just angry, and it was again a bad decision. So yeah, like, I think he's done the right thing here, and I appreciate that genuinely. So I wanted to make this video about it. In terms of like all this stuff, like, so my plans on all of this stuff like have not changed, right? So this is what I've been sort of planning from the start when I was asked to be part of this thing, which I was, by the way. It's not like I stole a bunch of ideas and went to them. No. They came and said, hey, no, we're doing like the Raid Community Awards. Obviously, this is top secret, but if you're interested, you want to be part of it? And I said, yeah, because why not? It seems like a great event. So I said, yeah. And that was basically it, right? But the story of everything that happened and all behind the scenes, like, I've always been planning to write that stuff, and it will be coming out, right? So I will do 2 videos and probably 2 articles as well, if you want the written versions, like on hellhades.com. But one, which I thought would have been the more interesting one, was going to be like chatting to the developers, like actually getting to meet the developers while I was over there, or some of the developers on the team while I was over there filming this stuff, and like insights in terms of, you know, in terms of the game that they had to share. So I thought that'd be the interesting one. I thought that the less interesting one would be like the behind the scenes story of like filming and that experience and what it was like. Apparently that's the hot topic. We'll see. Probably by the time it actually comes to that stuff, again, people probably won't be that interested, honestly. But like, it was a really cool experience for me and really fun. So I you know, for those that are interested in that, I'll be doing up like the full story of it. So like, the full story is gonna be out there. Probably. I mean, obviously I haven't written any of it yet, so I don't know exactly when, and that's why I also didn't really want to say exactly what I was gonna do, because, you know, you want to keep the hype and release it around the time the stuff comes out. I'll probably do like the developer insights maybe a couple of days before, and then the behind the scenes of like filming and all of that probably like a couple of days after. It just doesn't really make sense to do a behind the scenes of the filming before people have actually seen the show. So yeah, that's like, that's what I've been planning to do all along, and that's what I'll still do, and you can hear all the details there. So yeah, that's basically what it's gonna be, I think. Okay, I have to keep checking, because this has taken a few takes to do this video. So I have to like, did I cover all the topics in this video, or was that in the previous take? But to touch on this stuff, like, so the story of how me and the Saffron Man initially talked. It was a very brief interaction, really. So he asked me. I think it was back in September of 2022, so over a year and a half ago. He came to me and said, like, hey, I've done these raid award shows before. Have you seen them? Are you interested in being part of the next one? So I said, no, I haven't seen them. So I've never seen them. And after this stuff, I never will. Thank you very much. But he said, so yeah, I said, no, I've not seen them. But yeah, sure. You want me to host it? Like, yeah, absolutely. Sure. I'll give it a go. Because again, like, it's the same way as me saying yes to do these raid community awards. It's like, yeah, that's a cool opportunity. I think the idea of an award show, that's great. Let's go for it. Sure. Absolutely. I'm on board. I'll do it. It was the exact same thing. So, yeah, I said, like, yeah, I'm interested. And then we had like, I checked, we had like a 20-minute call, and that was it. In fact, like, so he did share this stuff already, so I don't mind like sharing, because if again, he shared it in his video, so but if he wants to unblock me and tell me to take it down, like, I absolutely will. But like, it's I think it's pretty benign stuff. But like, again, we talked in, yeah, like September 2022, and like, then again, that was all I heard from him. It was like, we had this call, and he was like, yeah, again, just chatting about it, like, oh, these are some of the categories and some of the winners, and again, like, great winners and stuff, great idea. Like a 20-minute call, and then I never heard from him again until years later, getting a fuck you. So that was it. That's it. I will say, I would have, and it wasn't really a big deal, so I don't really mind. But I think it would have been more polite at the time, like when he decided to cancel the shows, to send a message and be like, "Oh, hey man, just to let you know, I'm canceling the show. But cheers for offering to be part of it." I would have appreciated that more, but it's not a really big deal. But like, that, again, just to put it in context, because I've seen a lot of people being like, no, why did you not reach out to Saffron Man immediately and tell him about this show? I'm like, I don't know. I feel like there's a bias there for people that were really invested in those original shows and were part of them and watched them. Like, they were before my time. I heard that they were really good, but like, I never saw them. I was never part of them. So I honestly kind of forgot, like, just didn't really immediately spring to mind, honestly. And even if it had, I wouldn't have messaged. So like, just the way it is. But yeah, I personally would have preferred to be told, but like, it just wasn't a big deal. Like, at the time, I was moving house, and I was also really sick at the time with Crohn's disease, like really sick for a while there at the end of that year. So I didn't see that he'd canceled the shows until maybe a month after he actually had, and I checked his Discord, because I was like, I never heard about that. Like, is that not happening at Christmas or whatever? And I checked, and I saw that he canceled it. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, it just didn't seem like, I don't know. It's like there was no close personal relationship or anything. So like, but I totally understand some of the other creators like that were involved in it and did have a closer personal relationship, that you might be like, oh yeah, I would have like been straight to I mean, you can't really break NDAs, right? But that you might have told him something or whatever. Again, for me, what I would have done, okay, if he messaged me and was like, okay, my expectation would have been more like, hey, I see you're doing the award show now, like, congrats. Okay, cool. But if he'd been like, hey, you're doing an award show, like, did you steal this idea or whatever? Obviously, I would have replied, I can't give away anything that's, I'm not allowed to give away. But, I could easily say, like, no, definitely not. They simply asked me, do you want to be part of it? I have zero creative input. I will slight spoiler of the behind the scenes stuff. I didn't have any input, except I am not a professional actor. So like, there's like scripts, right? And some of the scenes are long, like longish for a non-professional, like they're maybe a minute or two long, but I'm not a professional actor. So like, I do not have the skill to learn off all of these lines. So, for some of the lines, I get them sort of half correct, but maybe change the wording slightly and stuff. They're actually really sound about it. Like one of the guys that helped write the scripts was there, and he was like, "Oh yeah, no worries. It, like, comes across as natural. You get in the gist of it. Like, it's all good." I do think it's a little bit funny because there's some of the scenes, like they shoot them from one angle, but then they have to move the cameras and shoot the same exact scene from another, because you could obviously see the camera through the other camera if you did them both at the same time, which I hadn't really thought about before, you know? So then it was like, oh shit. If I'm not saying the exact same lines in the exact same way, that's going to be a nightmare for continuity to edit that together. So that's a little behind the scenes spoiler. We'll talk about that like in the full behind the scenes video. But yeah, I did not have any creative input into the thing at all. And again, yeah, so like to touch on this, like again, like he shared all this stuff, and I think there's really nothing malign in here. It's just very normal, polite stuff. But like for me, this sort of sums it up as well. Like this is my take on it, which was apparently my take a couple of years ago, and I stand by it. So he said like he's getting trophies made, right? Physical statues, yeah, Oscar-sized physical statues, amazing. That seems super fun. Yeah, that is my take on it. Is this like some mind-blowing original idea? No, it's not some mind-blowing original idea. Does that matter? No, because it's a great idea. I think, you know, he had like ethos theme statues, which is a great idea. I think, you know, whatever, it's gonna be like a red carpet thing. You know, again, great ideas. They're all general ideas. I will say the one thing, which again, I forgot the specifics of it until I saw. I didn't watch his original video. Not something I wanted to do. I did when I got home and I saw it was taken down. I saw the apology. I did, you know, go then watch some other videos, and I saw some of it on Jay Giggs stuff. And actually, it wasn't as angry as I'd been led to think it was going to be. Well, he didn't show the whole video, and I did see a comment saying the latter half of it was angrier. But the first half of it, I was like, okay, this is. I understand this level of anger, which again is part of why I'm doing it. But like this was one specific thing. I'm like, yeah, okay. If they stole that, then yeah, sure, that would be crazy. Which was a more, again, it was still a day. I forgot what this was until I saw the video. That was like a Days of Our Life theme thing, because Deadwood's dad is like a famous actor from Days of Our Life, Days of Our Lives, I think it's called. So I think it was like content creators would be in the different houses and stuff. I'm like, okay, that's very specific. So yeah, again, if they did that. Not a huge issue, but like that's so specific. It's like, yeah, okay, that does seem stolen. But like the general idea of like, I don't even think, by the way, I don't think that there's a red carpet involved in the thing. I think it's more Oscar themed than red carpet. Like the idea of like red carpet or, you know, fancy stage or fancy clothes, like that stuff is all really general. So that's sort of what I feel about it. And again, honestly, like. From chatting to some of the Plarium guys, like they were more looking at, again, the idea it's never intended to be this amazing original idea. They're actually looking at more so it's other game companies that are doing this, like big budget stuff, and it's trying to see like, I'm working out the budget and like what can we do to put on like something that is competing with other big game companies putting out award shows. Like that's more the goal. That's what it is. I think in terms of. I hope you guys enjoy it as well. Like I'm very like this has been a whole other thing, but in terms of it in general, I still find it quite embarrassing to be like dressed up and it was a whole thing. But what was I saying? I can't even remember. No, I don't even remember what I was saying. But yeah, look, it was. I hope you will enjoy it. But like it's a fairly standard. I remember what I was gonna say. Like chatting to one of the guys again that wrote the scripts. He was like, "Listen, it's not Shakespeare. You know, it's just." Bit of fun. I want to keep it short and snappy, and hopefully people will be entertained. Like their goal is to create a very different kind of thing. It's not. I believe that Saffron, like your shows were like streams, and apparently they were very well received as well. Like again, I saw Jay Giggs and stuff. Really enjoyed being part of it, but I think that the Plarium one, they're just trying to do their own thing, and I think it's gonna be just a fairly, hopefully good fun. But you know, it's not the most mind-blowing thing ever. It's just an award show. That's it. So I think that's basically all I have to say about it. Look, I hope you guys enjoy the award show. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it myself because I will probably be too embarrassed. It'll probably be like this, where maybe after a week or so, after a few days have passed, that'll be like, okay, I can deal with it now. So it'll be like that. But yeah, I really don't think there's any foul play going on. I will briefly say that when I watched the J Gig stuff, apparently there's a whole lot of history there. I don't know about that, and I certainly don't want to get into it. This has been more than enough for me. Thank you very much. So, yeah, I don't want to deal with any of that drama. I've got no idea. And yeah, I will be glad not to have any idea. But look, that's basically it. I think that's everything I have to say. Again, the most important message from this, though, is that I appreciate this second video. Like, I genuinely appreciated that. Because it's not the easiest thing to do to be like, yeah, sorry, that was actually, I was angry. I'm not that kind of person. I shouldn't have done it like that. So I appreciate that. And yeah, like, I don't know. I just think it's good to accept that and apologize, because again, for everyone, it's easy. I think it's easy to react with anger. It's an easy mistake to make. I think many people could make that mistake, and I think it's good to be accepting of that and to try to forgive it. So that's my take on it. That's it. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.